Have you ever wondered, behind the cold, razor-sharp beauty and legendary power of the katana, the timeless symbol of the Japanese spirit, what kind of story lies there? Few people realize. Its beginning was anything but glorious. It was a chain of quiet, humiliating failures. In the earliest days, straight swords known as chokuto would often shatter on the battlefield, leaving the warrior exposed and carrying a shame that couldn't be put into words. Around the year 700 AD, there was a master swordsmith named Amakuni. He had watched again and again the blades he forged snap and break in battle, and each time it cut into him. The pain of the soldiers, the disappointment of the emperor, forced to send men into war with weapons that failed them. All of it rested on his shoulders. At one point, the emperor openly declared those swords were unworthy. It was a judgment that struck deeply, wounding Amakuni's honor. But from that shame came something else, a quiet, burning resolve. He had to change it. He had to create a weapon that would never break, a symbol of unshakable will. With unbreakable resolve, he locked himself inside a cold, dim forge. For 31 days and nights, he prayed. He thought. He experimented again and again. The sound of hammer striking steel echoed endlessly. Sparks scattered into the darkness. But in his mind, there was only one goal: to uncover the secret of an unbreakable blade. And then, in his most desperate moment, something shifted. A single realization. The problem wasn't the material. It was the shape. A straight blade took the full force of impact. It got stuck. It broke. So he asked a different question. What if the blade could bend just slightly? A gentle curve, not just for beauty, but to let the blade glide through its target, reduce resistance, avoid getting trapped, and disperse the force of impact, making it stronger, more resilient. And after 31 days, Amakuni forged something new, a blade that would become legend, Kogitsune Maru. But the story of Amakuni, as inspiring as it is only the beginning. Because in reality, the katana was not born in a single moment. It was shaped over centuries, a long, relentless evolution. Not the work of one man, but the accumulated knowledge of generations, forged through trial, refined through failure, influenced by advanced steelmaking techniques. From China and Korea, absorbed, adapted, perfected, again and again and again, until it became something more than a weapon, a symbol of discipline, of precision, of a culture that never stopped improving. The true secret behind the katana's superiority, what made it legendary, lies in something called tamahagane steel, a rare metal forged from pure iron sand, melted, refined, worked entirely by hand, layer upon layer, folded, hammered, and folded again, thousands of times, not just to shape the blade, but to remove every impurity, to create something incredibly strong and impossibly sharp. By the Kamakura period, from the 12th to the 14th century, the katana reached its golden age. This was the era of legendary swordsmiths, masters like Masamune, who pushed the craft to its absolute peak. Every strike of the hammer wasn't just technique. It was intention. It was pride. It was honor. And with every layer forged into the blade, the katana became more than a weapon. It became a symbol of resilience, of discipline, and of a spirit that refuses to accept failure. It started with failure. The brittle, straight blades of the chokuto, easily broken and often dismissed. But then, it evolved into the perfect curve of the katana. Every step forward was soaked in sweat and iron will. It's more than just a weapon. It's a philosophy of life, forged in fire and steel. Every curve, every fold of the metal, every intricate hamon line on the blade, they all whisper the same story. A story of infinite patience, a hunger for perfection, and the belief that failure is nothing more than a stepping stone toward greatness. The katana is proof that even when facing the impossible, we can still turn flaws into masterpieces. We can take our initial weakness and transform it into unrivaled strength. It is the embodiment of pride, the spirit of a people constantly pushing their limits, creating something that is not only enduring, but timeless. The katana teaches us a profound lesson. No success comes easy. No masterpiece exists without the fire. Every strike of the hammer, every time the steel is folded, it's a battle against limits and doubt. It's that endless, grueling patience that transforms raw material into a work of art, into a legendary weapon. Our lives are no different. There will be moments when we feel like failures, weak, just like those early chokuto blades. But that isn't the end. It's the beginning of a transformation. Every failure is a lesson. Every hardship is an opportunity to forge your will, sharpen your mind, and discover the power hidden deep within you. Each and every one of us carries the potentia to become our own katana. So never give up when you're standing in front of a struggle. Think of Amakuni. Think of the masters who dedicated their entire lives just to perfect a single blade. Believe that with enough patience, enough courage, and that hunger for perfection, we can turn any challenge into an opportunity. We can turn every limit into a stepping stone. The katana is more than just history. It is an eternal reminder. True strength is not about never falling, but about rising after every stumble and continuing to forge yourself until you reach your greatest heights. Live with the katana spirit, steadfast, honorable, and never stop reaching for the peak. If you have a passion for historical mysteries like these, join our community by hitting that subscribe button right now.